we're going to be busy. We have several guests who are having to deal with related parties under common control, so we must be sensitive to their stress.
Oh my, that sounds like a complicated VIE issue.
Wait a minute. Where's that bellhop?
Oh, he's delivering towels to a guest. I'll ring him.
You rang?
My, aren't you the prompt one?
I aim to please. Forgive me, but I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. There is a gap requirement to consider indirect economic interests held through related parties on a proportional basis.
But couldn't there be a situation where a single decision maker would have to consider the indirect interest in the entity held through a related party as a direct interest?
Very true. And that could result in the consolidation of an entity when they have very little interest in the entity.
Oh my, I'm afraid that wouldn't be very useful to the users.
Oh, those disgusting, pesky VIEs.
Never you mind. I'm aware the FASB has updated their guidance on this issue.
Oh, now, don't you forget, a special task has been assigned to you today in room 714. Mr. Feld is counting on you.
I'll make the deliveries every hour on the hour.
Oh my, it looks like Lady Uppington needs help right now.
Welcome back, Lady Uppington. May I be of some assistance?
Oh, of course, I would be most grateful, but my real problem is my confusion over consolidating a VIE. Some of my companies have direct interests while others have only indirect, and it's so confusing.
I believe that I can clear that up for you, ma'am. You must remember that the primary beneficiary must consolidate the VIE.
Of course, I wasn't born yesterday.
But of course, ma'am. First, you must consolidate all direct variable interests in a VIE, and if you have a direct interest in a related party that has a direct interest in a VIE, then you have an indirect interest in the VIE.
How dreadful! So I suppose I will have to consolidate it?
You would only include the indirect interest on a proportional basis.
So, indirect interests held through a related party under common control are not equal to direct interests.
Precisely, ma'am.
Oh, thank you so much. And this is for you.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
But that's not mine.
No, ma'am.
This seminar's pretty good, but I'm having a real issue with the prepaid gift cards.
Me too. Essentially, when the card is sold, the store records a liability for the customer to purchase goods with the merchant on the card.
But what if the person sits on the card forever, or simply forgets about it?
That would be known as breakage.
Oh, sorry.
No worries, ma'am. For any breakage that you expect to be entitled, you would simply derecognize breakage over a reasonable pattern, providing that it's probable that it will not be reversed.
That sounds reasonable.
Otherwise, you'd derecognize the breakage when the likelihood of the person using the card becomes remote.
Great.
Pardon me, Bellhop. We're running low on coffee, and it's a little chilly in the room. I'll order more coffee, sir, but I'm afraid I can't do anything about the temperature. Hey, are those peanuts part of our snack break? No, sir. These are for a special guest at the hotel.
Howdy. My wife and I just came in from Texas.
My, that's some big luggage.
Why, of course. Everything's big in Texas.
I'll call the bellhop for assistance.
That little feller sure is fast.
I wish my accountant was as fast at figuring out my credit losses.
Perhaps I can help. You see, assets that are measured at amortized cost should be presented at the net amount expected to be collected.
So I suppose I would deduct an allowance for the amortized cost to come up with a net carrying amount.
Very observant, sir. And then all relevant information, both past and future, will need to be considered in determining changes in expected losses.
Gee, honey, based on that, you'd have no trouble knowing what to put in the current income statement.
She's clever. You need to hold on to that one, sir.
I intend to. Now, would you mind parking my vehicle for me while I get a drink for my little lady?
Of course.
Take good care of my new Mustang.
Yes, sir. Oh, and that reminds me. Going up?
Yeah, thank you.
My, that smells good.
Yep, that's why the pizza shop is doing so well. Business is so good, in fact, that the owner has lots of extra cash that he's been investing in debt securities.
I guess that makes him a lot of dough.
Yeah, we're not talking peanuts either.
Good one, sir.
The only problem is that sometimes he has credit losses on the securities and he hates to write them down. It seems every time he does, something happens and the value goes back up.
And then he can't reverse the write-down.
Yeah, that really burns him up.
Well, as long as he doesn't burn the pizzas. I do have good news, however. There's an update that allows him to use an allowance instead of a write-down.
Wow, that would allow him to show both the ups and the downs.
Are you going up or down?
Both!
May I suggest we use the other car? Your dinner, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is there something troubling you, ma'am?
Why, yes. I've been working on a cash flow statement and I have some very strange transactions I just don't know what to do with.
Well, perhaps I can help.
Say my seafood processing plant burns down and it's insured.
Bad news, good news.
Where do I classify the cash receipts from the insurance?
Well, the proceeds would be classified based on the nature of the loss. In this case, it would be investing, because it's tied to a capital asset.
I see. And if it was for business interruption, it would be operating.
Very good, ma'am.
Thank you so much. All of this has given me such an appetite.
But of course, ma'am.
Oh my, that looks delicious.
It's fresh, too.
But I don't remember ordering any peanuts.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. Those are for a special guest in room 714.
Oh my.
At your service.
I'll never get used to that.
Can you please help Selena Glamerston, the movie star? She's just arrived.
No photos, please. Stop. No photos, please.
At your service.
Whoa, where'd you come from?
I don't care. I need a room that's restricted from the paparazzi.
Right away, ma'am.
I like this guy, Bronson. I wish my restricted cash was as easy to deal with.
Well, actually, Miss Glamerston, it can be, because the FASB felt there was too much diversity in practice.
You're telling me. The classifications make no sense, and I hate showing transfers between restricted and unrestricted cash.
Oh, I feel your pain. So the FASB decided to simply combine all cash and equivalents, including restricted cash.
Oh, you're my hero! Bronson, I must find a role for him in my next movie.
Perhaps an organ grinder, monkey.
Peanut?
Well, that ends another fine day at the Wentworth Palace. Oh, this time of night? That can't be good.
Front desk.
This is Mr. King in room 716. There's an awful racket up here.
Like a
Can you get that
complaint.
bellhop up here right away?
One moment, please.
I hate complaints.
You rang?
It's for you. It's room 716.
May I assist you?
There's an awful racket in the room next door, and I can't sleep. Just listen.
No problem. I'll be right up. Oops.